Wisconsin leads the nation in restoring native bluebirds to their former range. And in just a few minutes, Debby Wolniak joins members of the Bluebird Restoration Association of Wisconsin to learn about their work to help these colorful birds. And then, in an archival segment from 1993, Sharon Morrisey shows us a selection of pruning tools for spring yard and garden work. But first, I'll join the Schuster family and Captain Angelo Trentadue of Fishing Bug Charters of Racine to fish for salmon on Lake Michigan. I'm Dan Small, and it's time once again for Outdoor Wisconsin.
Summer to fall, winter to spring, from Green Bay to where the St. Croix sings, from Kettle Moraine to Superior Shore, outdoor Wisconsin, outdoor Wisconsin.
We're going out today with Captain Angelo Trentadue and his first mate Carl Kaiser. Now, we've fished with these guys a number of times before, and they really know where the fish are, and I hope they can find them today. And our special guests are the Schusters. Now, Shirley and her husband Wally bought this trip at our Outdoor Wisconsin Banquet.
Correct.
Last February.
Right.
And you spent a few good dollars on that, and we hope that you get your money's worth today.
Hope we get a lot of fish.
Well, yeah. And they brought along their son Terry and his wife Becky. And Shirley, I noticed you got Becky wearing that special hat from Big Guy Hats.
Exactly. She volunteered to wear it today.
So Becky, you actually volunteered?
No, I was volunteered.
You were volunteered. Yes. Okay.
The elected.
But they didn't break your arm, I see.
No, Wally should be wearing it.
No.
Well, you know, the person who wears the salmon hat often has the best luck. So.
I said I'm going to get the biggest fish.
Well, let's see. Well, Angelo, what's the plan today? It's overcast, it's been raining.
It should be a good day. We're going to fish fairly close in because the water temperatures are cold, and we're going to fish for a combination of salmon and trout. Mostly Chinooks we'll be catching, but we could catch a lake trout, rainbow brown, and even coho.
Could be anything.
Could be anything.
Yeah. Well, who's up first?
I am.
You are?
Yep.
Okay.
I got elected.
You wrote the check, right?
I did.
Okay, well, we'll let Angelo take us out on the big lake and see how we do.
Okay, sounds good. We're looking forward to it.
Right now I'm setting the skis up. We're going to be running some high lines, lead core off the skis, and we're working the structure. We're just coming onto it. There looks like a little bit of a clear water line just out ahead of us, so we're going to just try and work through that. We've got the cold water here, and try and get some lines in before we come through it and see what's in there. I'm going to set out a dipsy now, and these drive off to the side and down. We'll run about 50 foot of line out on the line counter. And then we're set. Now we've got 2 lines in the water. Everybody kind of watch it. The ski is out there. If that ski starts to go backwards or a fish starts jumping, then that means we've got a fish on. You might want to pull out the rain gear. Looks like we've got another one of our widely scattered showers this afternoon coming our way.
Oh, it's a good fish. Good fish. It's a big one. He's taking line.
You know, if you want, you can sit on the cooler for a while. It's going to be a while. Yeah, turn the handle, nice and easy.
Okay. Yeah, it's coming.
All right, and then
now he's swimming in.
Closer, we're going to have to get you to back all the way up so I can pull the ski off. Keep reeling. It's coming in easy. You got to keep reeling. You don't want to stop. Keep reeling. Keep reeling.
I'm reeling. I'm reeling. Here he comes. Oh, he is heavy. Oh, he's tugging. I'm trying.
Okay, Carl, we got our fish headed for home.
Oh, that was a big fish. Oh,
Good job.
wow.
Let me grab that from you.
Okay.
And then I'll pull them off, pull the hooks off.
Angelo, you hold some nice salmon.
That's a nice one.
Beautiful.
That's nice.
Okay.
Whoop.
Yeah. 4 fingers right in here. Thumb
Hang
here.
on good.
Don't go in the teeth.
Okay, got it.
Put your other hand underneath. There you go. Like
We
that.
gotta get slimed.
It's all right.
All right,
Don't
good
let it go
one.
back in. Nice job.
Thank you. Good captain.
Good job.
Look
Thanks
over
for
here.
waiting.
Really, over here.
You gotta kiss the fish?
You got it?
Oh, I don't think so. Oh, got it. Maybe that'll bring us good luck.
Okay,
You
you
want a
have-
kiss too?
You have to hang on to it now until we get in.
Open the cooler, please.
Okay. Very good. Congratulations.
Carl, what are you marking there?
We're marking right a nice school of bait fish right off the bottom there. Hopefully we're going to see somebody that wants to catch some of those smaller ones that are there.
Is it a little like Edelweiss?
You call that one a fish?
I'm gonna catch the biggest one.
Wait a minute, we got to compare it with the one on your hat. I think that one's bigger. That's a good eating size, though.
Shirley, you want to kiss this one?
No,
Look
I
at how
don't.
cute he
I
is.
kiss mine. You have to kiss yours. Come on. Come on. Let's go.
That's his close.
Too fast. Gotta do it
Yeah.
again. He missed it.
Who's next?
Oh no, he's bigger than mine or yours.
Work it out a little bit.
He's bigger than Becky's. There he is. Not much bigger than Becky's. Come on, Nellie.
My short little arm. There we go. Not much. We don't care. Good job.
Hold still.
I'll just get the hook out.
He got
Fish on, fish on.
Hey, Terry, fish on. Another one, go.
Yeah.
Hold it
Just out of the holder, nice and easy. This way.
Yeah, he's on there good.
You got a real one. Nice and
Yeah, he's hanging on pretty good.
Go, Terry.
That's our line there.
Fish yet, Terry.
He's pulling line. Yeah, he's pulling.
just slow. Just
Yeah,
slowly
he's
reel.
pulling.
Just slow. Just slow.
Thought you might get a little
There you
cold
go.
out here.
Keep reeling. Keep reeling. Keep reeling. Keep reeling. Keep coming. Keep coming. Gotta keep your rod tip to the right. There you go. You're doing good. Just slowly turn the handle. You'll gain line. Please, you gotta back up. Nice. All right.
Mom's is still fishing.
Oh boy. Right away you had to go there. Very good.
Good one.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
A little bigger than your wife's.
A little bit bigger.
Yeah, but Mom still has the biggest fish.
Yeah, it's about twice that big.
Did you have a good time?
Great time.
Yeah, you know, I think we ought to have Mom and Dad buy this trip next time the banquet again.
Yeah.
What do you say? What do you say, Shirley?
Sounds good to me. We had a wonderful time at the
Great.
banquet.
Nancy Brown of Madison photographed this early summer evening on Sparkling Lake in Vilas County. Send a horizontal photo of your favorite Wisconsin scene to Outdoor Wisconsin, 1036 North 8th Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 53233, or log on to mptv.org and follow the prompts to Outdoor Wisconsin to email us your photos. Bluebirds are native to Wisconsin. We're starting to see open water here in southern Wisconsin due to the loss of prairie habitat and suitable nesting structures. Let's join Debby Wolniak at Mequon Park in Ozaukee County as she talks with members of the Bluebird Restoration Association of Wisconsin, and we'll learn how they're helping to bring back the bluebird.
We're here in Ozaukee County with Patrick Reddy, and he is a part of the Bluebird Restoration Association of Wisconsin. Patrick, you really have a great job here working with the board and really getting active involved in the bluebird population. Tell us more about that.
Well, yeah, it's a statewide organization, and we have about 850 members, and everybody's a bluebird enthusiast. And many of us have trails. It can be anywhere from 5 boxes to hundreds of boxes, actually. Everybody sets out their bluebird boxes in spring, or has them up and ready to go. And we get nesting bluebirds, between April and August. We try to fledge as many bluebirds as we can. Bluebirds just about disappeared about 40 or 50 years ago. We've been, making an effort for the last 25 years or so, trying to increase the bluebird numbers as much as we can in the state of Wisconsin. And we've been fairly successful. The first year that we did our annual count in '86, it was just over 2,000 that we had our members report to us. So we know numbers were pretty darn low back then. And then in 2007, we had just over 28,000 fledged in the state from our monitors that reported for us.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you've really made an impact into the bird population, bringing it back up.
Yeah, it took a lot of effort. There's a lot of trial and error in the beginning, figuring out, what to do right, what was wrong, dealing with predators.
Right.
We had raccoon problems. Today we still have problems with house sparrows. Starlings can be a problem because they keep bluebirds from nesting in natural cavities that woodpeckers create. So the bluebirds use our boxes, but then house sparrows compete with them, and house sparrows can be pretty aggressive sometimes. So we try to put our boxes in the right bluebird habitat.
Right.
And golf courses are an excellent place to attract bluebirds.
Yes, with the open space.
Right.
And they
right.
like to kind of sit toward the edge, right?
Yeah, they like the edges. They like the short grasses because they find their food on the ground.
Okay.
And shorter grasses work better than tall grass. And they like the scattered trees because they sit up in the trees, and that's where they hawk their insects from. They look down and they find their rug on the ground, they zip down. And so we put our nest boxes out in these open areas. The chicks take about not quite 3 weeks or so to develop in the box, and they get to be just about adult size, so it gets pretty crowded in there. And generally what the adult birds will do is they'll sit outside the box and they'll start singing and not feeding them, and that'll kind of lure the chicks out of the box. They'll start looking out, and then all of a sudden one will just decide to take that first flight, and once one goes, they all just kind of follow.
Really?
Yeah, and they'll try and fly to the nearest tree that they can, someplace safe, and then they'll start calling for food for the parent birds, and then the adult birds will start taking care of them. And once they fledge the box, it's really mainly the male that starts to take over the responsibilities of teaching the young bluebirds what bluebird life is about. Late August, early September is when we'll see the last broods fledge.
Okay.
It's probably in October, November when you start to see them migrate out in larger numbers. And that's when a lot of people start seeing them at bird baths and in their backyards and things like that as they're starting to get into bigger groups and flock out of here.
Now, where do they migrate to in the winter?
Generally down to the central and southern part of the country. We will have some bluebirds that hang around in Wisconsin year-round, and that's increasing every winter, it seems like. It's probably at least a couple thousand, just like we have winter robins. But most bluebirds do migrate into the central part of the country. And ours, I think, probably go down as far as Alabama, Louisiana, maybe even Florida.
Okay. If somebody watching this says, hey, I want to be involved in this, how do they get a hold of you, and how do they get actively involved in bringing up that population again?
We have a website, and that's www.bluebird braw.org. And a lot of information on there about bluebirds. You can find things about setting up trails, you can find membership stuff, you can find interesting articles that we've had from our newsletter, the Wisconsin Bluebird. It's a great site, a lot of good information. There's even box plans on there if you wanted to look at 3 different nest box designs that you could make yourself and put out your own bluebird boxes. And we even have different ways of mounting the boxes too. And all the information about the proper habitat and where to locate the boxes too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, my best wishes to you and your organization, and I'll look forward to continue watching that population grow.
All right.
Along the trail, Debbie met Association Director Ellen Lafouge, who was monitoring several nest boxes.
What do you see over there?
Well, I'm looking at a bluebird, a female that's just come in to feed her babies.
Looks like she's got something in her mouth.
She's sitting on the box and she's thinking about going in the hole. She's got a bug that she's going to go in and feed her chicks.
She's thinking about it.
Yeah.
Looks like she's not going in right away. Why is she flapping her wings?
Well, she might be asking the male. She might be a little nervous that she sees us over here. She's probably asking the male to come in and give her a little encouragement.
Do I have to be quiet? I'm sorry.
No, this is fine. We're far enough away.
Okay.
And actually, bluebirds, one of the nice things about bluebirds is they really do kind of allow human intervention into their cycle of things. They're actually very tolerant of us, helping them, which is a really special thing about them.
I've wondered that.
Mm-hmm.
So here you are, Ellen, in this great organization doing all this bird monitoring. I mean, people are like physically going in the boxes.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Well, sometimes people do think we're being intrusive, and I do have questions. And I suppose you could say we are, but we try to be as as the least intrusive as possible. Okay. And when we monitor a box, we're doing it for the good of the birds. Sometimes there's ways that we can actually save bluebirds if there's a problem that's going on with the chicks. Like if a nest has become wet, we can actually change that nest out if we're monitoring regularly. It's just really good to be able to keep tabs on them and help them, fulfill the cycle.
Right. So some of the goals you have is to review the box, weekly?
Weekly.
Okay.
In general, once a week.
Okay.
And we'll go up to the box. There's a way that we approach the box so that we let them know we're coming. I usually do a little whistle and kind of tap the box. And if the bird is in there, they'll usually fly out and just be nearby. They do kind of get to used to the drill, Don't seem to get too nervous about it. And we'll open the box and just take a head count, either egg count, head count, make sure everything's okay, and close the box up and, leave the area as soon as possible. Okay. And we try not to, we won't monitor in bad weather and pouring rain or really cold, or, we try and have it so that we're not affecting the babies when we do that.
Well, let's make sure we have a word of caution then to our viewers as well. Number one, don't approach a bluebird box unless you're part of the organization.
Absolutely. It should only be done by an authorized person who's the monitor for that box. Right. And it's not something that anyone, if you see a bluebird box, should just go in and check.
And if there is a question, maybe somebody does see something and they are concerned, they should contact your organization, correct?
Absolutely. I get a lot of emails from people that are concerned or have questions, or they've got a bluebird box in their backyard and they want to kind of understand, how they can help the bluebirds or what's going on in that particular box. And so we are able to really connect with people that really want to know, how to help bluebirds and what they can be doing. So.
And the people that are registered in our part of your organization are reporting these numbers and what's happening at these boxes continually, correct?
Once a year after the season, usually I think they're due September 1st, we send in our annual reports. Okay. And then we have Dr. Kent Hall and Dr. Peter Dunn of UWM. And Kent Hall is from Stevens Point, University of Stevens Point. They put together the data and analyze it and get our numbers and see how the bird population is doing. So it's a very important part of what we do is report the results of our monitoring. Last year here at Mequon Park Golf Course, we fledged 96 bluebirds, young. This year we're on track to hopefully maybe do a little bit better than that. So it's very rewarding. It's something that we do, of course, for the bluebirds, but it's also something that we do for ourselves. Right. I mean, you're part of this kind of sacred bond between the bird and nature, and the cycle that you see going on and being part of it is very uplifting. And it's very nice to share that with other people. There are, children can get really excited. It's very nice to be able to go and show children a active bluebird nest, or to show them what's going on, or who doesn't get excited when they see a bluebird?
That's right.
Really.
Right.
So,
in fact, I'm curious to keep watching this one.
Yeah.
Looks like they're doing good.
Yeah. No, they're beautiful birds. They're very special birds.
Each week this season, we'll feature a segment from one of our early years. This week, we turn back the clock to 1993 as Sharon Morrisey shows us a variety of tools that'll soon come in handy for yard and garden work, if the snow ever melts.
It's getting toward the end of the dormant season and about time to get back out in the garden and do a little pruning on your woody trees and shrubs. To do so, you'll need the right tools to do the job. So I have with me today an assortment of those tools. Starting with the hand pruners, something that you may already have at home, the smallest pruning tool, and one that many homeowners can get by with using only the hand pruner. It's simply a pair of scissors that you use out in the garden. The best type to get is the type that has two blades, one that passes the other to make the cut, rather than the anvil type of hand pruner where the sharp blade, the cutting blade, comes down onto a flat anvil to do the cutting. That tends to crush the stem as the cutting blade comes down onto the flat blade. So a pair of hand pruners, you can prune branches up to maybe 2-3 inches in diameter with a pair of hand pruners. A lot of it depends on how strong your hands are. If you can't get it with your hand pruners because it's a little bit too thick, a little bit too large, you may want to try a pair of loppers. These are loppers, same principle, again, two blades, one that passes the other, but you can take a much larger chunk of stem in this, a much larger diameter stem in this. This is simply a larger size lopper, take an even larger diameter stem. But one problem with this type, regardless of how big they get, is that you need to have the leverage to get the weight behind that to cut a very large diameter stem. There is another type of lopper that has a hinge or a sort of ratchet that gives you much better leverage, and you don't have to rely strictly on your arm strength to prune through those large branches. Larger branches might require saws. This small saw is one of my favorites. It's readily available from hardware stores and garden centers, and this one has a double row of teeth on it that make it very easy to prune through a very large stem with only a few pulls of the saw. I say pulls of the saw because with pruning saws, the cutting motion is actually on the pull rather than the push stroke. It's a little different than a carpentry saw. And no, you really shouldn't use a carpentry saw on your pruning jobs around the yard. They also are at an angle so that you can maneuver in and out around the stems on your shrubs and trees as you're pruning. Getting into a little bit larger saws, there are a wide variety of them, but they all have some features in common, that the blade is curved. The ones that fold into the handle are nice because they're much safer. You can store them safely in the handle. This one has a release on it to allow you to open it so it doesn't get opened accidentally, and then it also snaps closed. You can take a much larger branch with this, but because it doesn't have the double row of teeth, it doesn't prune quite as simply as you'll find this one does. This is a relatively new introduction, so there are still a lot of these on the market, and I don't believe these come in as large a size as these do. Then you can go all the way up to the large pole pruners, or something like this with an even larger handle. It all depends on the size job you have and how high the branch is away from where you're standing at and how high you can get, such as with a ladder. This is simply another saw that you use to reach the very high parts of the trees. This will also have an extender on it so you can get even higher. They're made usually with an aluminum shaft so that they're lighter weight, and that's really important, you'll find, when you're trying to balance this at a height of about 8 or 10 feet above your head. So for most pruning jobs around the home, you can probably get by with these two simple tools, a hand pruner and a hand saw. That'll take care of most of it. So, equipped with these tools now, you can go out and get started. Good luck, happy gardening.
Next weekend, I'll be at the Wisconsin Big Buck Classic at Chula Vista Resort in Wisconsin Dells. And then in 3 weeks, I'll be in Madison for the Wisconsin Deer and Turkey Expo. Stop by our booth at either of these shows to say hello or pick up some raffle tickets for a chance to win a hydrojet-powered canoe by Wilderness Scout. For more information on these shows or this week's features, log on to our website, mptv.org, and follow the prompts to Outdoor Wisconsin. Well, next time I'll take you down to the Illinois River to try bow fishing for those leaping silver carp. And we'll learn more about bluebirds as we turn back the clock to 1994 for a look at innovative bluebird nest box design with Frank Zern. I'm Dan Small. Join us again next week for Outdoor Wisconsin.
Free yourself like an eagle in the air. Feed yourself like a bear in the blackberry. Like a hawk, perch and stare. Outdoor Wisconsin. When the work in life is way too much, when you're in too deep and way out of touch, lace up your boots, get out of town, take a walk in the wild, or sit down and listen. Listen to the sounds of the critters of the night, the wind in the leaves and the little river run, coyote brother howling in the full moonlight. Outdoor Wisconsin. Hike, fish, hunt, camp, sail, canoe, ski, photograph, laugh, do what you want to. Stick your nose where the wild rose grows. Outdoor Wisconsin. Outdoor Wisconsin.